Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Thank you for listening, for coming. Thanks for coming.
Oh, I love coming. You're welcome.
We're Night of the Living podcast.
You were holding it back, weren't you? So you can come now.
You guys helped.
I'm Freddy. That's Kelley.
Hiya.
That's Andy. And there's Amy.
I shall not participate in this.
All right. Well,
we're 45 and 43 years old.
Yep.
Yeah. 45s and 43s.
Amy refused to participate.
Because I'm a killjoy.
Oh, you monster.
As a
Patrons
woman, that's what I do. Yeah.
are my favorite little monsters.
Ooh.
Well, I think Lady Gaga does that.
Yeah, Lady Gaga.
You mean after
They're big monsters.
Howie Mandel
After Howie Mandel.
and Lady Gaga.
And Lady Gaga. You guys are at least my third favorite little monsters. And you mean the world to us. Some of you are getting your t-shirts right now.
That's fucking awesome. I can't wait to see him.
Your torsos
Yeah,
will
me too.
finally be clothed.
Yeah, so thank you. And Kelley, thank you. The design is so cool.
You flatter me.
It is so choice.
Thank you.
So if you're a patron, normally you would get something called Origins today, the same day you get this, but I forgot to listen to my episode.
Freddy is human.
Freddie did not preheat the oven.
I did not preheat.
You didn't take the chicken out of the freezer?
Nope.
So
And your mom's pissed.
I was just on a tear. I was writing music, and it took me away from reality for like 2.5 days. And now I'm back,
You're
and
back
I
to
realized I
reality.
had responsibilities that got shirked.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Yeah.
oh, Mom spaghetti.
I missed my chance to blow. Fuck.
I told you, do not.
I know. You warned me about it.
You only got one shot. You missed it.
Oh, jeez. So if you are listening for the first time and you've made it this far, we are a horror podcast, but we also talk about fantasy and sci-fi films. We do a segment called Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette. This week,
It's my turn.
Amy has the movie, and it
I got
is
things to say.
The Puppetman.
Oh, goodness.
My name is Amy Morris, and I'm here to say I watched The Puppetman in a major way.
She also likes to rhyme.
Anytime.
I promise I'll never do that again.
I'm going to subject y'all to the hot seat because I also didn't prepare a Topicana question. So Topicana is another thing you get as a patron. It's just a fun podcast where we shoot the shit. We use questions to get the ball rolling, and then we kind of just shoot the shit.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a one topic Topicana.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's a hot seat.
Yeah.
Hot seat.
It all depends on how prepared we are. And I'm not.
He's just not.
Besides, let's see, housekeeping stuff. Main attractions coming down the lane. We're doing Silver Screams.
You got to dust the bookshelf.
Yeah.
That was my scream.
It's inspired. And the movie we're doing is the one that inspired the thing. Amy, you said you wanted to watch Fade to Black, and you were like, let's just make
You
a theme.
described
Right?
it to me, and I was like, that sounds bonkers.
I described it to you.
Somebody described
Oh.
it,
It was a great movie.
and I was
It
like,
is a
I
great
want to
movie.
watch that then.
Did I describe it to you?
I feel like it had to have been Freddy. I live with him and such.
Maybe.
The probability that it was him
He
is
talks
high.
about it a
pretty
lot.
high.
He recommends a lot of things.
Oh, dear
But
God.
she doesn't listen.
Right.
That's why I'm like, I recommended something to you,
Well.
and you watched it. It had to be someone else.
Calm down. Okay.
Just saying.
Anyway, and so we came up with this idea, the Silver Screams, talking about movies with a
Movie theme.
a movie
Or movie
movies
theaters.
feature,
Movie theme, movie
It's just about
theaters.
movies.
and it's about
Love
the
letters
pictures.
to Hollywood.
the pictures.
You ever have one of those
Serial
days?
killer love letters to Hollywood.
Yes, pretty much. What?
I was just gonna say, you ever one of those days when you forget the alphabet?
The Phoenician alphabet.
The Phoenician, where you're just looking at, everything on your phone is alphabetized for ease, and then you're like, what did I put this thing under? Where is this particular thing? Did I put it under S for this thing or R for that other thing?
Did you check Stork's shape?
I found it eventually.
Okay.
Did you ask Jeeves?
I asked Jeeves, and he was like, "It's been ages." He was all dust. He was like that guy that guards the Holy Grail in the Last Crusade.
Yeah.
That's Jeeves.
That is Jeeves.
That's what he's doing.
So we've been gone for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
I feel like the whole world changed in that time.
How so?
I don't know. We lost Matthew Perry.
Oh, R.I.P. I keep getting sad stuff in my Instagram about it.
Yeah.
And it's bumming me out.
It's a bummer.
It's a real bummer.
I felt bummed.
Me too.
I continue
too
to feel
young.
bummed.
That's the saddest thing about it.
There's just horrific things happening in the world, and I understand that some people are going to be like, "Oh, Matthew Perry is what you talk about." Yeah, because that's what I want to talk about here. I don't want to talk about things I can't and don't understand.
If you don't,
I want to invite you to do something, Amy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you,
no.
Freddie. I want to hear what you're going to say. I want to invite you to not worry about the people who would say something like that to you.
Right.
Yeah, and if you don't understand how someone who you spent literally, it's I mean, some people feel they're above that human connection that you have spending that many hours watching someone on television. They're like, I can separate it and I don't have feelings about that at all. I get
That's
the
Chandler Bing.
I get the reasoning behind that because I do that myself sometimes. But this is something where I wasn't even a huge Friends fan, but he was like somebody, it felt like I knew him.
Yeah.
He was
It was a
friend.
weird feeling.
Well,
It's in the title, Friends.
Yeah.
someone put it pretty well, and I don't remember where, either on Reddit or on Instagram, where a lot of us, we grew up with that cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you see one die, because they're like, I mean, they're a little older than us, but
Right.
like not much. So we really did grow up with them, like and aged together with them. So it's and I have actually thought about this as we get older. Like when you start to see like your celebrities die, it's weird.
It is weird.
and disquieting.
Yeah. Yeah, because it reminds you of your immortality. I mean, obviously, it's like they're 4 or 5 years older than me, and they're
More than
suddenly
that.
just gone.
Well, he's 54.
Was he 54?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize.
Still
Even
only
that-
8
but
years.
still, that's
I mean,
nothing.
that's like you could be married to him and it'd be okay.
Yep.
Most states don't allow marriage of corpses to living persons anymore.
I read his book, or I listened to his audiobook, so I listened to him read his book to me this year, I think. Not that long ago. I don't know. It's just intense. He was a very unhappy person that was so desperate to like find any happiness.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to him read Lord of the Rings. He was like, "Fly, you fools! Could I be any more Gandalf the Grey?"
I was trying to figure out.
I'm glad you got there though. I was like, oh, get to Chandler. There you go.
I was expecting you
You
guys
did it.
to not let me finish, and then I was like, "Oh fuck, there's need more."
Yeah, I was trying to do the math to like fly, you fools, as a Matthew Perry impersonation. That could have been anybody.
Yeah.
No, but he got it.
Yeah,
you got
you
it.
got it.
And that's a Zao. You earned a Zawo.
Flying, you fools, would be perfection.
Gum would be perfection. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
He was a funny dude. I even liked remember the whole 10 yards? Was that what it was?
Well, there was the whole 9 yards, and
Whole
then
9
they,
yards.
Oh, the whole
and then
10
they
yards was a
did-
sequel.
Yeah, I
that's
love
right.
both of those movies.
Yeah.
They're
Sequel,
fun.
I didn't love as much, but I did like.
He's
the whole
great.
9
He's
yards
great in The
bit.
Good Wife. He has a really
Yeah.
vastly different role from Chandler Bing or anything really comedic in The Good Wife.
I didn't even know he was on there.
He was he had at least 2 to 3 episodes. He plays a political character.
Goon was so good.
Oh yeah, go on. Really, that was a shame.
Yeah.
That was a
Actually,
shame.
I don't-
Kelley, like The Good Wife is like one of those shows that
He's the number one fan.
You only would know one person that watches it.
And it's Kelly.
Kelly's our good
Elise
wife.
watches
You know,
it too.
it's kind
We
of
know
like
too.
the Monks or the Suits
and my ex-wife.
shows.
So me and people I've been married to definitely watch that show.
So you're the common denominator.
Is that the one thing you can relate on now? You're like, so dropping the kids off. Good wife was pretty good. Good night.
We've already talked about that episode. Okay, bye.
I want to watch Sunset Strip Studio
Oh,
60.
Studio 60.
I never watched it.
I
Oh,
watched the
yeah.
first episode, I think, and I was like,
I remember, was that the same time 30 Rock came
it
out?
was exact. Yeah, they
it was
both
like-
dropped together.
Yeah, and it felt like 30 Rock was way funnier.
Well, it was
and so
supposed to be.
kinda-
Well, because that was an Aaron Sorkin show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be like ha ha ha.
See, that's
ha.
probably what confused me.
It was a drama about a comedy instead of a comedy about a comedy.
Right.
A comedy about a drama.
If it's a comedy about a comedy, then you've exponentially
Home for Purim.
squared
You have.
your. Well, squaring is exponential. I don't know math.
I don't either.
Don't talk
Kelly doesn't
at me.
know his math.
He doesn't know math.
Yeah. So I think we should all just have a moment to grieve. That was a big deal.
Yeah.
How did you feel, Andy? Did you feel it?
Yeah, I was a huge
You're a
Friends
huge
fan.
Friends fan.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Friends fan.
Yeah.
Technically, he's the second. I mean, do we not give Gunther his fair shake here?
He was not.
He wasn't really a friend.
He wasn't a friend.
He wasn't a main character.
He was an acquaintance.
He was a recurring character.
He was pretty, but he was maybe.
But R.I.P. to him too.
That was like the first one where like, oh, Gunther.
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 Whatever. I didn't watch it so much. I mean, I did. It didn't stick to my ribs the way it did for you.
Gunther. Oh man, yeah. I keep getting choked up by stuff.
Yeah.
Like there was an interview with him where he was talking about how he didn't watch the show because he could see, like he knew exactly what addictive thing he was doing based on how he looked in the show. So he never watched it. And then he was saying, but I'm going to start because I'm now seeing how it's affecting, how it brings all these people together and people discover it who weren't even around when it was on and love it. He was like, I think I want to be a part of that. I was just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's heartbreaking.
What really struck me on the front page of Reddit right after he died, the number of different countries that were posting about it.
Yeah.
In particular, Indians were really broken up about it. I didn't realize it was very popular there.
Well, you're not from there.
I'm not from India, so I wouldn't have known. But apparently Friends is a big fucking deal over there, and they were really sad. And if I died, nobody's going to give a fucking shit. But my God.
That's not true. You have fans. You have international fans in addition to
Nothing like, I mean,
nothing like what.
Nothing like Matthew Perez.
And I think he would be so happy to know that.
But Amy
He's
brought
dead.
up how there was a headline on WLWT, our local news station.
Mm-hmm.
We always have to bring it back to Cincinnati somehow.
Okay, and especially our local NBC affiliate, they're the worst for it. Finding the tri-state connection.
Oh,
to
they
big
found
news
the
stories.
tri-state connection?
Do you know what it was? That Cincinnati featured as an exterior shot for when Monica and Chandler were adopting that baby, and the mother was from here.
Anna Faris's character, remember?
And they did
Anna Faris, yeah.
They did a drone shot. Well, I don't know if they had
Was
drone.
It was a drone. It was
Giovanni
literally
Ribisi
like
part of
a
that?
Still shot
no,
of
that's
downtown.
Phoebe's brother.
Gotcha.
That it was just like a shot of the skyline of Cincinnati. That's it.
Yeah.
So that's how our local news, it was on the front page, chose to talk about Matthew Perry's passing.
Do you feel like
They
our
did it in the
local
butt.
news has some
Anna
sort
Faris
of,
and her bow.
there's like an organizational autism at play
It's weird.
where we're like, I know how I can relate to this particular
They're
situation.
playing Kevin Bacon over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's like one intern whose job it is
To find
the
it.
tri-state connection, the tri-state connector.
The scryer.
That should be a show.
Lady Gaga's
They have a
dog
divining
walker that got
rod.
shot was from Cincinnati. How do I know that? Thank you, WLWT. When that guy got murdered on the Georgia golf course or something, they were like, guess what? That guy was from Cincinnati.
The snake has a cousin in Toledo.
Why do I know these things?
The snake that bit the guy.
Oh, we didn't know that Amy Yazbek
Yeah.
is from Blue Ash, Ohio, because
Which
we were
is
watching Dracula Dead and Loving It for some
so
reason.
much fun because it's awesome.
Yeah.
When was the last time you've seen Dracula Dead and Loving It,
When
Kelley?
it came out.
Can I tell you like how great that movie is now?
Well, can I tell you,
Good.
I'm willing to revisit
Great.
because I didn't like it at the time.
It is well crafted. It looks like an old. It's like Young Frankenstein, but for Dracula.
No, and now I'm a less angry young man.
Yeah, I didn't like it the first time either.
I'm still very picky and judgy, but I'm a lot less so. And
Yeah.
I think I'm ready actually.
Yeah, it's very Mel Brooks. When it came
What is
out,
Mel Brooks?
Yeah, well, but when it came out, that for some reason that one and Men in
Shocking.
Tights.
Well, no, I get what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
They felt like they were
Men in
not
Tights.
on brand. Those two movies.
It's the time they were made, I think.
Yeah, like in the pump sneakers and all that stuff in Robin Hood.
Yeah. I need to revisit that one as well.
I do too.
I liked that one at the time. I thought I liked it better than Dracula Dead and Loving It.
Yeah.
So we'll see now in a revisit.
Yeah.
How I feel.
I used to think Spaceballs was my favorite, and now it's been overtaken by some other stuff.
I discovered I don't like Spaceballs.
Yeah, I
actually.
don't either. It's not that great.
Which I thought I did.
Andy?
I'm just laughing at you. I'm sorry. It's just not my.
Spaceballs? Oh.
No, just Mel Brooks in general. And to hear you describe.
Oh, but you were laughing your ass off at Dead and Loving It. You were laughing your ass off.
No, it died off.
Dude, you were laughing and laughing.
No, I was
and
laughing at parts of it, not throughout the whole movie.
With Scary Movie 3.
I warmed him up, with Scary Movie 3.
And I was laughing my ass off at that.
Listen.
How dare you? How dare you just try to say I'm a Mel Brooks fan?
Andy, you were like, you said you were shocked when it be you like there was a point in the movie when you realized it was a Mel Brooks movie, and I could see Andy's attitude slightly change.
And then once I realized, like, oh wait, I don't like this.
He decided
it's like
not
suddenly
to like
realizing that something wasn't scripted, but it was
like,
improv he was watching.
It was like when I went to Mellow Mushroom.
And you were enjoying your pizza until you found out.
I was like, oh, this pizza is really good. And then I look at the ingredient list. Oh, whole wheat.
I thought we discovered that wasn't whole wheat, though.
It is.
I don't know.
It is.
There's
molasses in there, too.
There's molasses. You ever remember that joke?
The
3 moles that are...
no.
I already gave the punchline away, but I'll tell it anyway.
Oh.
The 3 moles that are digging through the little mole tunnel, and the first one that's in the front says, I smell pancakes. And then the second mole is like, I smell pancakes too. And then the third mole is like, all I smell are mole asses.
Oh. I bet
That's
they're
not
real
that
cute.
good.
I bet they're real tiny and cute.
I like
better.
it.
It's adorable.
Moles they're cute, but they're kind of horrific.
Riker loves the taste of mole ass. He kills them on the reg. He'll start digging them up at the park.
Yeah. Our girls used to do it. I wish they still did because I have a couple of little.
Well, but it doesn't. The mole. No offense to the species, but they're not bright enough to realize. It doesn't seem to go through the communication network such as it is to the other moles. Like, hey, man, stay. I think the snakes got it. We've never seen a snake, and we have a very yardy yard. Like
you do,
and never one time seen a snake. So I think they get it. And until recently, the squirrels stayed off the ground, but now they've been coming down. I don't know what they think.
We've got some bold squirrels, too, that are going to get their asses nipped.
Well, I think we got a batch of defective ones.
Squirrels is a good band name.
So we figured out that snakes are smarter than moles.
And this
possibly squirrels are possibly.
This batch of squirrels, for sure.
This particular damaged batch of squirrels.
But yeah, the moles, they just keep coming back. Why? Get out.
They're blind. You'd think their other senses would help them out.
Well, you'd think they would tell each other in whatever way they have, like, hey.
I just said it was sad that moles are blind.
Do they use pheromones?
Their natural state of being. They don't know any better. It's not really sad. That's all.
You know how, like, don't ants use pheromones? Don't they?
Well, I mean,
For
they
date
do
night.
for things. I'm not sure. For what?
Can a mole use that for communication?
Andy's aunt uses pheromones.
That could be my topic and a question next time. Can a mole use pheromones as communication? I'm just going to ask each one of you your opinions.
Can you tell I did not major in biology?
Oh, de toilette.
I was a biology major. I don't think I learned. I don't remember a pheromone class.
I am not a backyard rodentologist.
Let's ask the moles. It's like, how do you feel about being blind?
And you may ask yourself, how did we get here?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
That's an excellent question. Does a dog fart?
That's always
Andy, it's just part of it.
That's a great cue to move on to another segment is when a dog farts.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
It smells like booty in here.
I'm oddly proud of my dog.
It's
Not booty.
Dog.
It smells like monster.
Temperature rose
Because
like
here-
10 degrees.
Because here's what's happening. We're sitting around a tiny round table, and Andy and I are sitting right next to each other. Elsa's on the floor between us and has somehow completely aimed that fart only at Andy.
It is funny. I cannot smell it.
And you're on the other side of Andy.
Yeah.
She is
You absorbed
so good at
She's-
targeting.
There were SBDs too.
She's mad at you.
Oof.
Most of the time they are. If they're not silent, if they make noise, they scare her and she wakes up and runs away.
It's pretty cute.
The Puppet Man.
The Puppet Man
The Puppet Man.
that lives on Drury Lane.
The Puppet Man.
The Puppet Man.
That's the movie we are here to discuss today.
Oh, wow. I did a Pusher-Man joke the other day and nobody got it. So thank you for that.
Oh God.
My mom used to play that song a lot.
Yeah.
It's on Shudder. It's a movie. It's a real movie.
Ooh.
I wrote some notes here
It's
so I can
shot on
remember.
napkins.
The basic thrust of the movie is that this young lady is in college, and
As young ladies are wont
as
to
young
do.
ladies are wont to do, her and her little friend group are staying behind while everybody else goes home for a week or something.
Instead of working in the steno pool with the other gals.
with the other gals. It's like a winter break of some sort. And they're gonna get booze and they're gonna party and they're gonna have fornication and other things. But this
Didn't everybody leave though? Is it just are they just gonna fornicate with each
Kelly
other?
and
This
Freddie
is
just
group,
at
yeah.
the same time. Like
fornication.
You guys like college girls fornicating and doing drugs.
fornication.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Can't go wrong. I mean, it can go wrong.
Yeah.
I don't remember what her name was either. It doesn't matter. But our young lady that's our main character, her dad back in the day when she was a young little girl, murdered her mother
Oops.
in front of her. And she had also been like caged up in the house, this little girl.
Yeah.
But the dad's like, it wasn't me. And you get to see this scene as like a flashback in the beginning.
Are you gonna spoil this movie?
No, but no. But I might
Minor spoilers?
I might
Is that what you're
brush
trying to say?
into minor spoilers. What were you gonna say?
Well, I want to guess. If I guess,
I'll let you know if you guess like major spoilers.
'Cause
but I
here's the
won't
thing.
say it out loud.
is this a thing where the little girl thought they made her think there was a puppet that was committing these murders, but it was like her dad? Is that the plot of
No,
this? Okay.
actually,
Well, that's good.
no.
Andy, what do you want to guess?
That's
What
a plot
what
of
are
one of my
yours?
stories, and I was just, I was like, did they rip me off? Is what I was getting to.
Was everybody dead the whole time?
They were dead the whole time. No.
It's like Dead Silence where Donnie Wahlberg shaves and then there's a puppet that's really a dead person.
Is there a boy in the wall?
There are many Freddy Kruegers.
Freddy's Krueger.
Freddy's Krueger.
Tacos
All right,
Supreme.
thank you.
Anyway.
It was really more about me.
So her dad is this killer called the Puppetman. They call him the Puppetman,
The Puppet Man.
and he's
Puppet
about
Man.
to be executed because that
Why
was many years
they
ago.
call him a puppet man?
Because he claims it wasn't him that did it. It was something that made him do it.
Joseph Puppetman.
And that's kind of how they show it in the beginning, that he's sort of being forced to do something he doesn't want to do.
They got to find the guy who has like a really brown arm up to the elbow. It smells bad. That's the real killer.
Or like a really big marionette cross.
Oh, like a real big one.
One without, I like Kelley's that didn't have a bunch of poop.
Yeah.
So here are my notes. Her dad's kind of hot, but he's a killer.
Yeah. But he might be a Puppetman killer.
Kind of cute.
You can still be cute and be a killer.
Right? What was very funny is, all right, you have the beginning scene with the dad killing the mom, and then, like your credits. And then over the credits is played the girl and her roommate in college are listening to a podcast in present day. That podcast is Last Podcast on the Left.
No shit.
And it's Ben and Henry talking about this case as if it was a Side Stories episode. If you listen to Last Podcast.
They got was this created for this movie?
Yes.
Well, I guess it had to be
Yeah.
because this
Yeah,
is not
they
a
did
real
this.
story.
They're friends with a couple of people, like someone who worked on Scream 6. Like there's places that like they pop up because they kind of have the same
You didn't like
circle
Scream 6.
of friends, I think.
Gotcha.
Which was very weird to see and hear.
Yeah.
Certainly in light of the news with Ben. So they're sort of giving the initial
Were you
exposition.
looking for clues? Is that what you're saying?
No.
You're just like, in this 10-second clip, am I going to find a clue that gives away
Yep.
what's coming? You can Google that if you want to.
So all the initial exposition, they're talking about the case. The Puppet Man, he's about to be executed. Do you remember when he did this? And remember how crazy that was? And that's kind of how you get the story. And then my notes say, then it gets boring. And then it just gets boring with these kids, these young people, and the ways they are.
Like boring how?
I don't know. It's
Like
just
nothing happens?
Nothing really. Like her friend, her roommate friend. I do not remember this chick's first name. The main character.
doesn't matter.
I didn't care for that character at all.
It's OSCAR.
Everybody else was way more interesting. She sleepwalks and she's been behaving strangely, and her roommate's kind of obsessed with this case a little bit.
She's been puppeting.
She's been out there puppeting. These bitches are out here puppeting.
Yeah.
And she feels a little bit betrayed by her roommate, like friend, like for how intense she's being about the story, and
You've betrayed me, roommate
talking
friend.
about it to other friends.
She's like, yeah, that was my dad and my mom, and he killed my mom, and that was my dad.
That was my dad. They're partying up on a roof because remember they were going to hang out
Like
and
you do.
party. Now they're going to be on a roof, even though it's Buffalo in the winter. Seems very uncomfortable.
You never heard of a buffalo roof party?
It's already been snowing there.
It's the dirtiest thing you can do.
It
to a
is.
human
Like
being.
I worked outside today because it was 70 something here in Cincinnati. In Buffalo, it's already snowed. So like, why are you partying on a roof? Anyway, and she's a little upset with her friend, and then all of a sudden, her friend is kind of like forced off the roof and killed.
Forced by like an invisible force.
She's walking,
yeah.
doing it. She's like, I can't stop.
She's being possessed by the puppet man. I see now.
Well, sort of, not really, but whatever.
If she's not being controlled by the puppet man, they've overcomplicated it. I'm just saying. At this point,
You're not wrong.
There is no puppet man.
And then I wrote in my notes, then it gets boring.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to boring.
And it goes back to boring. There's this psychic character, this woman, that like, it's the way that these people talk this way. Listen, I believe that people can truly be psychic. I believe that people can do those things.
Yeah.
But it's the way they portray them in places, or the way they act on these like ghost hunting shows and shit.
Yeah.
Where they're just so certain about absurd nonsense.
Yeah, I get you.
Where I'm like, what? It bothers me. And so this lady was very much absurd nonsense. But whatever. It was.
she commented on the lead character's midichlorian levels.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's what makes the Force.
That's what I've heard.
One character goes to the library late at night on campus. Nobody's there, but like, I guess she got in somehow.
I was gonna say, how the hell these people are
don't
always getting
know.
into college libraries after hours.
And,
I
like,
love
the
that
lights
though.
are
I'm a
on.
sucker. That's like one of my favorite settings.
It
It's
is
a great
good one.
setting, but it is like
In my head, I'm like, how'd you get in there? They don't got cameras or security cameras.
I don't know.
Were there only a couple lights on?
I mean, the college is closed this week. Anyway.
Well, here's on these movies, the libraries the only light on is above them.
Yeah.
Have you never been to a college library? All the lights are on.
All the lights are, it's fluorescence. It's awful. Or they have just this one beautiful little like green top shaded
so
lamp,
nice.
banker's lamp.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's your light for the, it's just not like
That really makes more sense, right? Because I mean, doesn't that mean the fictional characters are being more eco-friendly than
Oh, okay.
real life
And
people?
that's what we care about.
So when we went to college, we weren't aware of all the global warming and stuff.
That was the early
It was like
2000s.
walking on the sun
Yeah.
when you'd go into the library at UC.
I
so
still
bright.
napped there because I was tired
Yeah?
all the time.
Oh God, I slept good at the library a few times. So she's in this library. It's late at night. It's empty. She's researching this cult. She's been like clued into like research, and then I'm getting like Hereditary vibes.
Now, are there killings along the way, or is it just
Yes.
all about discovering and creepy things happening?
Well, the killings, the friend falls off the roof, and the mom in the beginning, and then it sort of all happens at the end. But this character being at late night, she's looking and she's like freaking out and like scared. And then she just lights a cigarette in the library late at night, which I was like, I would never.
What a beehole.
Like you broke in there because you did.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're smoking inside.
Sounds like a sociopath.
Yeah. There's a gnarly gym death scene. Somebody's working out. Something real gnarly happens to their body in a way.
Ew.
That's real gross.
Like Toxic Avenger style.
I just want to clarify that there's probably a time in my life I definitely would have broken into a library and lit a cigarette in there
Sure.
and shrugged.
Well,
Yeah.
you would have legally been allowed to up through the 90s.
Well, this would have been after that, but
right.
I'm nicer. Anyway,
Yeah. It kind of ends. I don't want to spoil how it ends. It does attempt to give you twists. and it then tries to do another twist at the end that I don't know that was super successful. It's not a terrible movie.
So
It had some fun, like 90s style horror movie feels.
I love that we're going back to the 90s now. I think we're over the 80s.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny? You're like, oh, the 90s, refreshing.
It is. Well, after you've been beaten over the head with the 80s so much,
Yeah.
anything is a welcome from the reprieve from that.
If you watch Twisted Metal on Peacock, it's the world ended in the early 2000s, I think, is what it is. So it's that era, like culturally.
The worst era of all time.
It is pretty bad.
Yeah, but give us 20 years and we'll be like, gosh, isn't this so fun? Everybody looks like it's the early 2000s.
They're
again.
watching Blank Man like it's a good movie in it.
The boys are popping their collars on their
Early HD.
Double collars on chunky highlights.
double collars, puka shells.
You realized how cheap police procedural shows were till they realized how to dress sets for HD.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, why do you look? I could see her makeup. Sam Watterson.
Damn, Watterson. Chung chung.
He's still alive.
Unreal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chugging along.
he's chunging.
He's chung chunging. I don't have anything else to
Is
say.
it a recommend? I mean, I couldn't.
It has some mediocre moments, but I think, overall it's kind of it's not going to knock your dick in the dirt. I think it would be an excellent Saturday afternoon folding clothes horror movie.
Huh.
It's on Shudder.
Well, that's a good
And that is my book report.
description.
It's kind of a damning recommendation. It's like, it was boring, but if you're folding laundry and not doing anything else.
You just want the basic atmosphere of a
Yeah.
horror movie.
I will say, I feel like a lot of people do have that. So
I do it sometimes. Just to
Sure, just have something.
some noise. That isn't so confusing or bad
Can't
that it
be
offends
alone
me.
with my thoughts ever.
Yeah, that's the
ever.
problem. You got a darkness in you.
What do you want? You ready?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What do we got?
For next week, did you guys know they made another Hell House movie?
Are they still a limited liability corporation?
This one's called Hell House LLC Origins,
Oh,
the Carmichael Manor.
How is this company still allowed to run?
I know. And how are they still limited liability after all the deaths?
Yeah.
Well, because they can't be personally sued.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah, you don't want them to be able to take your actual
We need to get Letitia James on this. She took Trump down. We need we need her to take Hell House down.
We should make a final movie in this series of films where they lose their LLC. That's the only way to defeat them. They become a sole proprietorship and then they fade away like Freddy Krueger.
Have we all seen all of them?
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, the first one's great. Second one, I don't
Still
remember.
pretty good.
Still pretty good. Third one, hot garbage.
Except for the scares are still good. The movie
scares are
itself
good.
is the material that should be a movie. Like the organs of the body
I get you.
deteriorate by the third film completely, but
They've
it's still
shut
got
down.
beautiful eyes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
All right. Let me read
You guys
this
are on
description.
fire with describing things today. I know exactly what you're saying.
We're in poetic mode.
Internet sleuths travel to Carmichael Manor in Rockland County, New York, site of the 1989 Carmichael family murders. They find a terror that's lurked in the shadows long before Hell House LLC.
Do you have to have seen all the other ones to get with this?
This one's a prequel.
It's like kind of a prequel, so no.
Is it LLC
And
in-
actually,
in
I
all the
almost
titles?
hope you get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they're really trying to drive that home, aren't they?
It's
a
important.
business.
Yeah.
it's a.
I mean, it's like, I get it. I don't need the LLC. I don't need. I know what series
At
it
this
is.
point, though, if they took it away,
It's part of the brand.
like
They've got all that merch out there. With the
So if you
LLC
put out
on it.
a copycat movie called Hell House without the LLC, can we get away with it?
I wonder.
There is-
I wonder if it's because they don't want it to be confused with Richard Matheson's Hell House.
But you are open to litigation because you didn't put LLC on there. You see, that's the catch-22, Andy. They're like, oh, he's just Hell House. His liability is unlimited. They're gonna take your kids.
All right,
Okay, let's see who's gonna watch it.
spin that bitch.
poke it,
Pop it.
flick
Oh.
it,
Twist it.
Oh no.
tug it.
Pet it.
Well, that's not so bad. I kind of like these movies. It's me.
Ah,
I'm the problem. It's me.
I'm gonna watch it with you.
Yeah, I know you
I'm a
like
sucker.
these.
I'm a sucker.
They're pretty fun. I don't hate them. One of them really scared me one time.
Freddy don't hate.
It's the main attraction.
Wow. Fade in from Black.
Oh my.
We're going to talk about Fade to Black.
Yeah.
Big Eddie Casbrack.
Yeah. But he was kind of medium
Medium-sized.
Eddie Casbrack. He hadn't got to big.
I think Andy and I, did we see this for the first time together at Mike McGrainer's?
Yeah, at
thing?
that midnight showing thing he did.
Yeah, that was really fun. In Columbus, our buddy Mike McGrainer does all these special events, and this one was, it was a double feature. I can't remember what the other movie was, but Fade to Black. This was just a wild ride.
Good revisit. I saw this when I was somewhere between 17 and 19. And
So when you were 18.
I saw it, and I saw it edited. I saw it on channel 19 or 64. I can't remember which.
What's the difference between those two? You saw it on channel like 30.
There's not a math happening tonight. I don't know math. I already told you. But I remember I loved it, and I caught it like just in the middle of the night. I was like, "Oh, this looks like something I like," and it was also because like it's got sort of that sad tone, which I was super into at that age. So I really liked it. Haven't watched it since, and it was a good revisit.
Andy, that was your first time too?
Yeah, at
when
the
we saw it
movie
together?
theater. I think seeing it in theaters is like really cool because you get the full cinematic experience because it's about movies and his obsession with movies and watching in a movie theater.
And the audience reactions were pretty great too because everybody laughed at the right places.
What if you watched it in the Chinese theater in LA
Oh
there's
my God,
there's an actor on top of the roof.
while there's somebody on the roof? What would that feel like?
Dude. Oh
This
man.
movie was really weird.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad
It
at it
had
at
so
all.
much character.
It was trying shit.
Like there were some
Yeah.
like just weird moments that just came out of nowhere. That like it was like that scene where the psychologist and the police lady are having sex and they pull out a box of Ritz
Box of
crackers.
Ritz.
that was probably product placement.
And
I
like,
call her Cokehead and Lady Cop.
it was like little moments like that sprinkled throughout the movie that just gave it so much like oddness and like character.
It was wacky and like that because it goes from this like really. I feel like movies like Joker owe a lot to
Oh my
this
God.
movie.
I said the
Kelley.
same thing to Amy when we were watching it.
You made me write
Joker,
this note down. Joker owes this movie everything.
Yeah. Oh, let's
Yeah.
high five.
It's basically like, and I don't know if he has addressed that. Do you know? Does anybody know if the writer director, I guess, of Joker said Fade to Black was an influence?
I've never seen Joker.
I
so
also
couldn't
feel
compare.
like this had to
Or
influence
no.
either the Argento brother or Jodorowsky or both.
Yeah.
Now that's obviously a vastly better movie, but I feel like there are some vibes in Santa Sangre that echo this a little
Similar,
bit.
definitely.
Yeah.
I was telling Amy, I love these movies, like, and I feel like this is like the West Coast version of, you remember Maniac?
Yeah.
The William Lustig movie. Like that is like the New York East Coast version of Fade to Black. It's not dramatic and but it's still street level.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you're in the worst part of town.
Yeah.
This movie has that, and basically just a quick summary. It's Dennis Christopher playing a character named Eric Benford who lives with a woman who he believes to be his aunt.
Yeah. Oh,
Wheelchair bound.
That's your mama.
Eve Brent playing Aunt Stella, who I thought was really funny, but she has also been on Tales from the Crypt and on Community.
She's on Community?
Yeah, she's done all kinds of stuff. She passed away, but
I love her introduction to the movie where she wakes him up with beating him with a cane, and then she does that little dance with the cane.
it's so whatever
That's-
happened to Baby Jane.
Yeah,
at
and
this
it's
point.
for
very,
sure.
and that got some Grey Gardens vibes from that too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because she's not as mean as she is to him. There's these moments where she softens slightly, and it's played really well. Like they are
yeah.
pretty great actors, but they're doing it in a very old style.
And for what it is like, this movie does this thing where it gives you these horrific examples of like mental illness out of control, but then it also shows you the real people that are like inside of the moments where they're kind of real people, or you see their vulnerability, or you see
Well, she treated him horribly, but there were some moments where she like cared for him.
Right, and she
Yeah.
was clearly fucked up.
Yeah.
Like they're
Super abusive.
It's
She
like,
blamed him for being in the wheelchair.
But
Yeah.
when they're having breakfast and she's like, "You need to have a nice breakfast before we go to work. You need to eat these tangerines."
And
She was so concerned
The
that he would
grapefruit's a
eat.
tonic.
Real quick before I forget, Freddie pointed out Binford Tools.
for tools.
It's a prequel.
And also, oh, never mind.
Her brain pooped it out.
No, because I was gonna say about her.
About the what? What did you just say? What was that last
About
word?
her.
About the mom?
Yeah, fuck
Well,
it.
the aunt who is really his mom. I spoiled it.
I know. I already said that.
Yeah.
I wanted to go back to real quick because I love the wackiness of the psychologist.
Tim Thomerson.
And that's who who it was.
Dr. Moriarty.
That guy
Weird
was
dude.
one of the best characters
Oh, he's so great.
I've ever seen.
He's
like
a comedic actor mainly.
him. I know. Like I didn't put it together. That's who that was. Even though I saw the name in the credits, and I was like, I wonder who he's playing. And then I did not. And then I was like,
Because the
who
big
f-
mustache.
Yeah, I was like, who is this dude? But him snorting coke and playing the fucking harmonica.
It's hilarious.
This movie, I guess this is what
In
I
his
was trying.
office at the police station.
This is what I guess I was trying to say. He goes from these like really super intense portrayals of like just madness, like absolute madness in a very realistic setting, to like these goofball, almost police academy level shit.
Yeah,
a good way to
they
describe it.
introduce cokehead guy. That's what I call him, Moriarty.
Dr. Moriarty.
And he's talking, by the way, don't forget the cop who only yells.
Only
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That guy's on Rockford, by the way.
everybody was.
The yelling cop.
Well, him and the boss, they were like acting for the rafters.
Yeah.
Even though it's a movie.
Yeah, they were.
They introduced these characters, or the character of Moriarty, and then the lady cop, who is Chris Pine's mother, by the way, and she was pregnant with him while she was filming this.
So he was in this movie.
He's in this movie.
Yeah. His first role.
They make you think they're going to be really like part of the story, but they really just keep disappearing for long stretches. These two characters, like
Yeah, they introduced it's very.
they spend a
it's
lot of
structured
time
like
with them
Psycho.
up front.
Well,
And
remember in Psycho where Marion Crane, right after she's killed, and they have kind of established like the sister and the
Yeah.
detective. I feel like this director was a fan of like that. I can just give you this tiny bit in the first act, and then you just know they're there. They're just like sitting there, and don't worry, they'll come back. But I'm not gonna give you little breadcrumbs to give you anything.
No,
but
like-
they'll come back.
Nothing about what their
Yeah.
role is going to be in any of this.
It's unconventional. People don't do that anymore.
Not tell you what's going on.
Well,
Yeah, they
no, I
certainly
mean like
don't.
balance with characters now. Like you can't have a character who plays a major role in the resolution to a story appear in so few scenes early in the story.
Yeah.
But that's just because it's just a preference. People got comfortable with that. I think like if you go back and watch Psycho and a lot of Hitchcock movies, he did that all the time.
Just switch point of view completely.
Yeah, or switch point of view completely, or like abandon a storyline almost entirely. It feels like.
Yeah.
But somehow this movie still works in spite of that.
So were you going to finish the synopsis?
I think it works even better because of it.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's like the marshmallows in like a cereal with a lot of things in it. It's not just like a Captain Crunch or a Lucky Charms. It's got a lot of things, but
Raisins.
the psychologist and
clusters.
his pop
Marshmallows and
girlfriend,
raisins.
yeah, are the marshmallows.
Craisins too. Also full plump cranberries.
So the cop,
Grape skins.
who is the marshmallows in this story?
The psychologist
And the
Dr.
cop.
Moriarty and
And-
his girlfriend cop.
And the killer guy, he's the main
He's the flakes.
cereal parts.
Yeah, he's like he's
bits.
he's the grain.
Yeah.
He's the grain. Yeah.
I also, Dennis Christopher was giving young Joe Pera vibes, if you know who Joe Pera is. If you don't.
Oh right, I
Google
got to
him.
watch that special.
Is that a Star Trek reference?
It's a comedy.
No,
guy.
he's a comedian.
Who's Joe Pera?
He's a
Indeed.
stand-up comic.
Yeah. No, but like the main character.
She's saying
Okay.
Dennis Christopher reminds her
Yeah.
of Joe Pera.
You know who he looks like? You know our friend, or not our friend, but like we know him, Cheney.
Oh, Cheney Mara?
Yeah.
Yeah. They do favor each other.
I think
right.
Chaney would, if they do a remake,
Oh, dude.
look up Chaney Morrow.
Chaney's a good actor too. I think he could actually do it. So Eric works at this place in LA that stores film stock and production materials for like marketing movies. And apparently he's not a very good employee. He's late all the time. His boss is
he's a terrible employee.
What I love about this, what I both love and I do feel like is a drawback that Jodorowsky fixes if you're looking at these kinds of movies is that Eric, he doesn't give you much to sympathize with ever. Like for me, I felt like the things that made me sympathize most with him were the things where I just pitied him.
Yeah.
Like where
Pity. It was absolute pity.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like I felt for him because he never had a chance.
Well, he didn't have, and that's what I mean.
But like at the same time, he kind of kept shooting himself in the foot
And he was-
getting it in his own way.
Yeah, he was just kind of, a garbage person.
Andy's saying he never had a chance reminds me of my favorite line from the movie when they're racing after they found out that the aunt's the mother and Tim Thomerson and his cop girlfriend are racing to the scene of Grauman's Chinese Theater to hopefully defuse the situation.
Yeah.
And like, it's really his mother over the radio. And he's like, that little weasel never had a chance.
That's right. I forgot about
So,
that.
like, this is the compassionate social worker character who describes the guy he's supposed to be mainly concerned with saving.
This compassionate social worker, he was kind of a goon anyway. He was like he was
Coke snorting, harmonica playing.
I understand what he was trying to
Fuckboy.
do. He was trying to like rehabilitate these guys and give people a chance. But at the same time, this guy's a serial killer. Go get him. Don't try to talk him down.
One way to look at that is that these comedic bits maybe were, because that's a part of, like, it's almost like they're like, now for the dummies in the audience or the people with, like, who don't understand to empathize here, they're going to say he didn't have a chance. And these are the parts that they're paying attention to because they're goofy. So we're going to get it through to them that this was a symptom of something. You know what I mean? I feel like it's exposition or like it's trying to get the theme across to someone.
It also doesn't really make any judgments one way or the other because it does let you can finish the movie still feeling sympathy for him.
I totally do.
I even felt sympathy for the mother.
I did too.
A little bit.
I don't think the movie wanted you to not. Oh Lord, Amy, come back around to this sentence. All right, let me start again. The movie wanted you to have sympathy for him. I absolutely think it was biased.
It wanted you to be really sad. And when as a teenager, I was like, I was like, but in that way that I liked. Like I was like, oh, that's a rich movie sadness. But this time, like I got more of his garbage person, and it was more pity.
It was pathetic. That's the word, and it's not the way you want somebody to feel about you.
Because all his victims, except for the movie
Not
guy,
menacing though.
they were jerks, but they didn't necessarily deserve to die.
Well, let's roll back to, like he's working for the film place and he's making bets with Mickey Rourke and his buddy.
It's like, I know that face.
Yeah.
But then like you look at the credits, like, oh, it's Mickey Rourke.
And first or second movie, something like that.
What I love about those guys, and again, this weird
His
little
workplace bullies.
Yeah, but they're only kinda. Like he kinda
they're
engages
more or less
them.
okay. Yeah, he pushes them.
Yeah, and what I love is this world where you've got like these sort of stereotypical dumb, tough guys, but they're into movie trivia. They're working at a movie place, so they know all this.
They're really
shit.
regular
like,
guys.
Yeah, and
they like going to the boardwalk and just playing boardwalk games and winning prizes.
I feel like
They
in that
were on a
scene,
date.
Did
That
you
was
feel like
adorable.
I felt that too.
One of them was on a date.
Yes.
The other one, Mickey Rourke's
Yes.
character, didn't get it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I
Oh
felt
my
too.
God, you guys,
read
me
that too?
too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because all he wanted to do was play boardwalk games.
He
and
wanted
win
to spend
prizes.
time with
yeah.
them.
He had the bear or whatever.
It played so sweet and normal and regular, and you're just
And
like,
then
they're just two
and
dudes.
he was actually like kind of upset when he died because they were interviewing him after they walked away from the police station. And like he was my best friend. Like we know what that really means.
Yeah, well, at least know that maybe he was in love. It reads that he's in love with him, which just really adds more. It makes it more LA. Like this movie, I love LA movies, and this one is like a really super. It's like if you're a fan of like Sunset Boulevard and all that stuff, you know those kinds of movies. This is in that tradition.
Yeah, for sure.
So anyways, like he's obviously fallen apart already, but he accidentally kills his Aunt Mom.
He didn't accidentally.
I think that was very
That was
deliberate.
purely
That was
intentional.
super
He
deliberate.
saw an opportunity.
He
Do you
brought
think
her
that
out
he took to
there.
kill her?
He
I thought he was
looked.
just throwing her down the steps.
No, he was laughing when
Yeah.
he did it.
Yeah, but you don't feel like he didn't understand what was happening?
No,
no.
he knew.
Oh,
he,
okay.
he- yeah,
he
that
knew
was
he
his
did it.
favorite part of what was the movie he was watching where that happened?
Oh God, they referenced
Because
so
then
many
he starts
movies.
becoming the characters of the movies he's watching.
It's very Dream On.
so
on
where did he
HBO.
start?
He starts by changing the name of the street to
River Street.
to match. I can't remember
Jarrett,
what
Cody
movie.
Jarrett.
Cody Jarrett, who is James Cagney. I
James
think.
Cagney.
You know, a
that
note
right?
I made
Yeah.
was that Cody is not that tough of a name nowadays.
No, it's
You're
a
like-
soccer player name.
Yeah, like
Like a kid. I'm sorry, a youth soccer player name.
Like
I just
you're
wanted
gonna
to
watch an
clarify.
action movie like Stallone style, and the dude's gonna be named Cody. No, Agent Cody Banks, The Sweet Life, Zach and Cody.
Yeah,
You just can't do it anymore.
can't do
Actually,
it.
when he changed the name of the street, that was the most infuriating part of the movie for me.
Why is that?
Because if I was trying to like look for directions
Yeah.
and it said
Oh
turn
yeah.
here,
Did you see the
I was just trying to put myself in that situation.
the mail carrier just shook her head at it. She was like, I got to draw attention to that for the camera.
because I would get lost so easily. Like the GPS says turn on this street. I'm like, wait, but it says this.
What's funny? I caught it before they gave you the dummies out. Like
Oh, really?
I
It
did.
took them drawing attention to it with the mail person for me to know.
I'm sorry that you had to take the dummies way out. But
did.
like
I'm the dummy.
well no, I
I'm the dummy.
you're not a dummy, but that is how I thought of it because they made such a big deal out of showing Market Street on the way in,
Yeah.
on the shot on the way into the movie. I was like, Market Street. And it just stuck. And then they did that same shot and it said River Street. And I was like, what? I was actually confused. I was like, didn't that say Market Street? And then when the lady stopped, I was like,
I skipped a really important part in the synopsis. Before he kills Mom,
yeah.
Aunt Mom, he meets Marilyn at the donut shop
Oh, yes.
and her
Marilyn
friend.
Monroe lookalike.
And again, barely contain madness.
Oh yeah, if it kind of feels like flirting. Like if you flirting, you would observe at Whorehound Weekend.
Yeah.
It's quirky, but it does border on weird.
He is like the flirting he's
She's
doing
into it.
is different than the flirting she's doing. Like I don't think she understood
Australian.
the level.
It's because she's a
She flirts counterclockwise.
Yeah, you're right. But it was like he was like in full psychotic break mode.
Yeah.
But even the way he was flirting, it seemed very relatable because we know I've
Oh,
seen
yeah.
people do this.
Same.
And it's like, oh, so cringy.
It's very
Yeah.
cringy.
He's
It's trivia. It's almost like that gatekeeping trivia that guys do, like
Yeah.
girls in a rock shirt and they're like,
Are you a real gamer girl?
yeah.
It's what they think of as like the punching a girl in the arm in the playground sort of diarrhea.
But she plays along with it for whatever
Yeah, she
reason.
likes it. She like really does.
She says he's cute.
And she lets him walk with her to her job at United Skates of America.
Again, that's the little quirky things I
the
love.
greatest
They
name
didn't have
for a
to do
roller
that,
rink. It's probably a
but
real
they
rink.
did.
Probably real. Yeah,
That's
that's right.
amazing, isn't it? I love it.
And I like her friend character.
Yeah.
That she was like, it's a very she's probably used to like being
The tough girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like saying, be
Yeah.
careful.
She's the
And-
brunette, you see.
Yeah. And then like when she takes that modeling job later, she's like, I'll drive you there.
Yeah.
I felt that was very like grounded, even though
Did
it's
that-
all this wackiness going on.
It's scary too, because by the time you get Marilyn back into Eric's orbit, by then he's off the deep end and he's
killed.
posing as a professional photographer, and he has this studio set up, which I never really got the connection of how he was able to have that space or why it looked so professional or anything, but it doesn't matter. But he convinced her to come, and the good friend
Wasn't that just his aunt's place?
no, it was like
It was a
studio.
office
Ah.
building that they went
Yeah,
Oh,
it
to.
that's
had
right.
like a
That's right.
sign
That's right. I
outside.
remember now when she stopped and
Yeah.
said
It looks legit.
she drops her
It
off.
has
Yeah.
like a
That's right.
a security thing and everything.
Yeah, because you
buttons.
think it's gonna foil. You feel like she's gonna foil anything really bad from happening, but she delivers her into
Yeah.
his arms when he's already at the tipping point of becoming completely like mad.
Yeah.
He goes on this killing spree after killing Aunt Mom. who he apparently was forced to often give back rubs to.
And was that
creepy.
code for something
It
else?
felt like
It did.
It was sexual.
Because she was like, you come right back here and get me
Well, and the
all
way
that
she
rub."
said it.
The way she said it.
Friend.
Yeah, and he made that face like, oh, yeah.
So he goes on this, my note here about his blousey boxer shorts.
Yeah,
Blousey.
they were. But again, very real. Like, because they look goofy and dorky.
Yeah.
Like, it just, like, really made him real.
Well, it made him like the juxtaposition of like these big boxer shorts on this tiny little guy.
Yeah.
But this tiny little guy is a serial killer.
Yeah.
And he goes on this spree dressed as characters from his favorite movies.
And that was like, that's me if I was a serial killer.
the cosplay
You
killer.
feel seen finally.
Yes.
That's what they call you.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it because this is for him. Like nobody's seeing these costumes.
Oh yeah, it's totally.
Although somehow they keep finding out about them.
Yeah, how did they know Dracula was chasing that woman?
The Mummy. Like, there was
The
only
Mummy
2
was
people
so
in there.
good.
It was good.
Yeah. It almost felt like ironically like scenes from It. Like, you know,
Yeah.
when you he later same actor, but like him, you know, them running from whatever monster of the week they
The
decided
fucking
to throw in
hop along
there.
Cassidy
Was
was terrifying
creepy.
because of the mask he was
Yeah.
wearing. It was supposed to be just like a regular face
And like
mask.
the shadow of his cartoony outfit with the big.
He
shape
looked
of
like
them.
Woody. Like, he
Yeah.
looked like
It was
Life.
just, everything was so exaggerated.
Yeah.
But it's like human though.
that shit was amazing. Him when he first put himself in the black and white makeup and turns his face. There's so many really artsy like parts of this
beautiful.
movie. It is. It was really cool. Like,
It's cool,
Yeah,
man.
and
Yeah, man.
when he's chasing the sex worker and she trips and the most deliberate trip ever. The fence goes through her neck,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah.
then he since he's dressed as Dracula, he's in character and he drinks her blood.
After going to see Night
Yeah.
of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like a really nice touch. That's how it goes, shows how far
They
he's,
couldn't
like,
get
fallen.
rights from Universal for Dracula, so they used the Hammer one
Yeah, the Hammer one.
instead,
Hammer don't hurt him.
which is weird because they had Creature from the Black Lagoon. I don't know what happened along the way. Someone tripped
I don't
over
know.
Creature's dick or something.
So he's doing this killing interspersed with these brief moments. God damn it, Siri. These very brief moments with Moriarty and Lady Cop.
Lady Cop.
Trying to find him and then getting yelled at by the captain, who said "fuck the mind." Okay,
Oh, it was
that the
the captain. Because
Definitely the captain. He was so angry about
Yeah.
anyone.
I wrote that quote down. "Fuck the mind." Okay,
fuck the mind. I love that.
What?
This movie's very quotable.
It is. Like, the cops were in a funny movie,
yeah,
and Dennis Christopher was in Joker.
yeah.
I mean, I would argue that there are moments of comedy in Joker too.
I've actually never seen it. I only know a lot about it.
It's really good. It's really good. I mean, it's as good as people say it is. It lives up.
Well, I feel like it does. It looks like a bummer to me.
Yeah, I don't have any interest.
Is
in
the
bummers.
only
But
thing.
it's not real. It's not even remotely real. I mean, people are like, it's so gritty and realistic. It's not remotely realistic.
Yeah,
Not at all. It's as showy as this movie is.
Yeah, all
It's
right.
just flashy in a new style.
I got you.
I mean, Andy's seen it.
Yeah, it
We
was
saw it
good.
together, right?
I like hold on to like the pedestal. A lot of people do, but I do. It was a good movie.
Yeah. I mean, but you would say it's also very stylized,
Yeah,
right?
it's like nothing's real about it.
Yeah. It's still fantasy.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you guys notice that there are no like regular sedans in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
There are no regular cars or trucks.
That'd be too boring.
Like people are, he drives a Vespa. His one friends are in a dune buggy. The gangster car at the end. Where the fuck did that come from?
Yeah. They never say where he got that.
Well, but they do keep implying that he's got a lot of vintage posters and collectibles. So, I guess if that's a way to nod at saying, well, he could get money
He could
somehow.
get money if he wanted.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe he just has access to movie sets and can borrow shit.
Well, there's that too, because he has that whole. Yeah, he
There's
works.
all the costumes and the professional looking makeup.
Yeah, that's actually probably more likely. Probably got it at work.
Yeah, it might be part of what they do there. That's the thing I was telling, it doesn't spoon feed you all the information. It lets you kind of make connections, and we're not used to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. And then they made us watch him jerk off.
Yeah. And that
Which
was,
I didn't
I've
feel like
never
doing.
jerked off the way, I've never made the faces that he was
You've
making.
never been insane.
Were you like, he
In
is
the
good
membrane.
at it?
It looked like he was hurting his dick. And also, he left his shorts on, which I thought was like,
Well, those
You
blousy
can leave your
he's
shorts
alone. You know what I mean? I understand
Yeah.
if you're in a place where there's people, you got to do it in your underpants.
He's a very theatrical person. Like even when he was killing, he put a lot of faces.
That's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
Oh, especially when he
Drama.
meets
It's on brand.
the movie producer, who I think is supposed to be kind of like a Robert Evans type,
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
who steals the idea for Alabama
Alabama and the 40 Thieves.
and the 40 Thieves from him. And he comes to the barber shop where he's celebrating his birthday after he's been snubbed by this guy.
that was a great scene.
That was awesome. That was a really awesome
with all the
scene.
mirrors and that throne.
Yeah, didn't it feel like a De Palma
yeah.
movie at that point?
And then him just like spinning with the force of the bullets.
And I laugh so hard that when he opens his mouth in this scene for the first time, it's fucking hilarious. Yeah, where he's doing the full Jimmy Durante almost, or James Cagney.
Yeah.
He got a working
Impersonation.
Tommy gun.
Yeah.
What do you get? Like
Where?
You tried?
like
Take that cop off.
about 15 years ago, we went to Vegas for our friend's wedding, and we went to a shooting range. And the shooting range we went to, you can like choose all these like high, was it caliber? Is that what it's called?
Big bullets?
Yeah, big
High-
bullet
yeah.
weapons.
Yeah.
And they had like a Tommy gun on display. I was like, oh, I want to use that. Like that's just for display. And my heart broke a little bit because I thought that'd be so cool to shoot.
You want to wear
Tommy
the
guns.
pinstripe suit and everything? Be like, you cardboard and paper
I pull-
cutouts.
Pull out of like a violin case.
No, he for sure he did that.
Yeah.
He rolled up
Yeah, he had the violin
to
case.
the Chinese theater in his gangster's car with his violin case and his whole like striped suit, the whole shebang.
Yeah, he didn't need to do the violin case, but he did it for himself.
But the best part is they start laughing at first.
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a birthday telegram. This is hilarious.
That was I know. It was amazing.
Yeah, and it's great because you're just like, it is funny until the live ammunition starts going off.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a great line too when he kills the producer, because the producer says, I can do big things for you, and he says, his response to him was, it's too late for that now, or you something like that, before he loads him up with lead.
I don't remember.
It's something to that effect. But
Yeah.
anyways, it's an interesting thing about the character that he is like, I'm not interested in anything anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not even interested in the life I had at all.
Right.
It's all about me bouncing from personality to personality.
And living in this, like, I felt like he was really, 'cause there's that scene where like he's in reality and he just keeps like crying out like, no. I felt like he was trying so hard to stay in the fantasy. Like, I think that was like his whole attempt to like get himself into his fantasy world at the end, where, you know, they're recreating the prince and the showgirl with Marilyn, where he's completely like,
Yeah, this is zooming back to the studio where they're alone. Great costumes.
great costume. So yeah, I think he was trying so hard to like get into that, like just that headspace.
So this is about the time that they bring cocaine cop and lady cop back in.
Yeah. He wasn't a cop. He was a psychologist.
But he worked for the police.
But he worked
Guilt by association.
grudgingly with the police.
That's
It's
where
like
he snorted his coke and played his harmonica.
Yeah.
I don't know if he worked there.
They didn't seem to want him. He insisted
didn't want him.
that he worked there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, there was even like some loose cannon moments between him and the
Yeah.
like
Fuck
where
the mind, okay?
fuck the mind, right there in that little part in the middle that separates the left and the right lobes. That's where your wiener goes.
Fuck it.
I bet it feel good about those ridges.
Oh, ruffles have ridges. Can you fuck them?
Not very gently, because it'll break.
No.
And the salt too.
Don't
Like you don't get salt in your.
Get
Sour
that
cream and
oil,
onion.
salt, and potato nonsense in your urethra.
I'm getting hungry.
But the brain is soft. It's got a lot of ridges. I feel it'd feel good to fuck it.
All right.
Probably.
It ends at the theater. She's drugged, but also
Like the Lincoln administration.
So he's brought her Fay Ray style to the top of the building.
Yeah, and she does. There is, I think, even she is drugged, but I do think there's a part of Marilyn that still kind of like likes him and wants to help him.
She's so sweet.
Yeah, she's really, really sweet.
Yeah. And also this, and again, this goes back to him, why I thought maybe I read into the first murder being not accidental. He shoved her down the stairs. That's obvious. But I don't think he really thought he was going to kill her, because there's this moment when he makes it to the...
Well, no, I think it was a totally impulsive thing.
Yeah. It was like it was an act of like passion where...
meant
Well, it was like in the movie. Like in the movie, it's not real. It's a movie. So to
Right.
him in that moment, it's just like, I'm in the movie right now.
Yeah, but then immediately after...
He has that realization of what he did afterwards in the bathroom.
Yeah.
He starts sobbing.
So do you think like then clearly every other murder he does is premeditated?
Yeah.
Do you think it's like he has to stay in the fantasy? He has to killing's part of it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Ooh, it's kind of scarily real.
I think they made a stunt guy jump off the theater.
They did.
It was a
In
good
real
stunt.
life. Yeah.
I had that thought too. I was like, somebody really went off that
It's
roof.
a great climax.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they got to shoot on the Chinese theater like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
With a mostly
able to see
no-name
inside?
cast, like, and
Well,
just-
no, he had been in Breaking Away, which one?
Well, that's
he
true.
was either nominated or won an Academy Award for that. So this was not like Dennis Christopher was probably the reason that this movie
Put some
got
respect
to do so
on
much stuff.
his name.
Get Dennis Christopher's name out your mouth.
What do they call it now? Give him his flowers.
I'm
Give
trying
him
to
his
find
flowers.
I'm trying to relate to the youth.
awards. Here we go.
Give him his flowers.
Need
Need to know. But I liked being able to see inside the theater because I don't know that I ever have. And it was cool.
Yeah.
I've walked outside of it, looked
yeah.
at it as I walked past it in the boiling heat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It wasn't the Academy Awards. He won the Young Artist Award and the BAFTA,
Oh, a BAFTA.
not the Academy Award. But I think the movie
Before a BAFTA.
I think the movie was nominated or won something.
Okay.
Yeah, best writing screenplay.
It's good that we know that.
I'm just explaining
thank God!
how you end up on the top of Grauman's Chinese Theater
I mean,
on
maybe
a
back
low
in
budget.
1980, it was a shitty neighborhood and the cool people didn't own it. I don't know. When did they start doing like... I'm sure it went through a time when nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah, that's true.
Everything does. And, honestly, you go a little too far past the theater in LA and you're just looking at stars on the ground. And then
smelling
all of a
pee-pee.
sudden you're like, oh, I'm in a bad spot.
That is human shit.
Anyway, Fade to Black. What a delight. I'm glad we opened with this because it is so
It was a great idea,
kooky.
Amy. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
I still think I'm getting
So
credit for
good.
something that I didn't do, but hey,
Amy,
Just run with it, Amy.
I'm running with it.
you were the one that said we should do Silver Scream because I want to watch this movie.
Okay.
She's still trying to figure out who introduced her to Fade to Black.
She's like, I know I wouldn't have watched it if it was Freddy. He never asked for a second cup.
All right. Well, we did it. What's next week again?
Popcorn.
I love popcorn.
Now, this is a movie we may have covered in the past, but it has been long,
But
long,
we're
long
doing
ago.
it again.
And I wasn't on that show, or if
Yeah.
I was, I'd have never seen this.
You've never seen it? It's really, it's much more silly than Fade to Black.
Yeah.
So you want to be prepared for that. It's mostly,
It's basically a slasher.
yeah, it's like a slasher kind of almost comedy also way over the top.
Careful, you can get stuck in your teeth afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bring
man.
your
Or
floss.
like I hate
Floss.
when the hulls get stuck on the back of my throat.
The holes of medicine.
Bring your flaw.
What's that thing where you have holes in your stomach, you can't eat popcorn?
Diverticulitis.
Be careful. You can't watch this if you have diverticulitis.
No, it'll just make your tummy hurt.
my God.
It's a fun one though. I think you're gonna like it.
All right. Cool. At the end of every show, we always say hi to our Beelzebubs. So I'm going to do that right now. Hi to these people in particular. Alise.
I love you.
I love you too. Alyssa. I was saying to Alise, but I love you too, Kelley.
Yeah.
I love everybody.
Well, thank you. I love you as well.
Branan and Emily. Jeffel. Iona Goodwin.
I do own a great one.
Dr. Brian. Old Dirty Bill Sturd. Bill Farner.
Oh, we got to thank him for doing the Halloween League.
Yeah,
was
no,
a
Bill
blast.
knocked it out
Yeah.
of the park.
even Bill, just so you know, even people who are not even listeners of this show participated. Like people I know out in the world participated.
Out in the world.
Out in the world, participating in things.
Can you believe it?
Back to the list. Frosted Blakes, Blayne Yogurt, Jordache Jeans,
Mm-hmm.
Paul, Jeremy, Cassie, Gamora, Ernie, Dave Siebert, Monica, and Dustin. And finally, the Bengals, you are honorary Beelzebubs this week,
That's
boys.
right.
Sports Corner is back.
Oh, shit.
Boom goes the dynamite.
Who day?
JB Boomer, the coach.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.